Stampers, I'm Nancy from Stampin' Shout, and I'm very excited that you're here with me on my YouTube channel. This week I've been creating with the Translucent Florals stamp set and die set. It's a last chance item, so I really wanted to create a couple more cards so you guys could see how cute and wonderful this stamp set really is. And I did something different this time. I'm working with vellum, so we're going to die cut some vellum flowers out. We're going to layer them, we're going to color them, we're going to add some other pretty floral elements to it, and we're going to create a birthday card. So I'm really excited. When I got this card done, I said, oh, I know exactly who this card is going to go to. So I like when I can do that, don't you? It's like, you know, you make, sometimes I have cards sitting here and I'm going to make a card and I'm like, I got to make a special card for that person. But this card turned out really cute. So if you're looking for a very unique birthday card, one that's really pretty, I think you're going to like it too. So stick around. I'll let you know how you can get the project sheet for tonight's card. I made 3 cards this week, and if you want to know how to get those project sheets too, stick around. I'll let you know. Plus, I have some more goodies to give away. So let's get to the crafting table and start creating. Okay, so this is the pretty card that we're going to make with the vellum flowers, and they are so pretty. They're so lifelike. They look like silk flowers. So I'm excited to make this with you. So let's bring in the supplies. We have a card base in Coastal Cabana. I have 2 layering pieces in Highland Heather. I have 2 white pieces, one for the front and one for the inside. I have a couple of scraps. We're going to use a little bit of black, white, Highland Heather, a little bit more white. This is shaded spruce. And then we have our vellum. So first thing I'm going to do is a little bit of die cutting. So I'm also going to use just a little bit for our sentiment, the perennial postage dies. So I'm using 2 of the dies for our sentiment. And I'm going to go ahead and cut them out first, and then we can stamp the happy birthday when we're ready. So I'm going to stamp the larger rectangle out of the Highland Heather. And then I have a little scrap here. I'm going to stamp the smaller rectangle out of the white. And don't worry about the sizes. I will put all of this information on your project sheet. So if you are a subscriber to my newsletter, I send the project sheet out for this card right after the video. And it'll have all of the supplies I used. It'll have the colors I used. I'll even tell you what size of the die cuts to use so you don't mix them up. So all that information comes right to your email. All you got to do is sign up for my newsletter, and it's free. And there's a link in the description below. Okay, so I have the Highland Heather piece, and I have my little white piece all cut out. So that's all done. Just going to collect the stuff that we're doing in here so I don't lose it. So let me bring in this stamp set and the die set. So with the die set, you can stamp the flowers, stamp the leaves, stamp the little sprig, and then you can cut them out with the dies. Also, we have these larger pieces. These are the pieces we're going to use today. We're going to cut these out in vellum. We'll get to that in a moment. And then you also have just some leaves that you can cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out, oh, let's see, I think I'll cut out 3 leaves. I'll cut out a big one and 2 small ones. And then we have these fun little center pieces. And I'm going to cut a couple of those out. I'm going to cut 3 of them. We have 3 flowers, so I'm going to cut 3 of these out in black. I'm going to cut 2 of this shape. Let me show you up close. I'm going to cut 2 of this shape out and 1 of this shape out, and I'll tell you why when we get closer. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my leaves and my little flower centers, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our 3 leaves cut out. I'm going to go ahead and put those in my little safety spot there. And there are my little flower centers. We have that done. And now we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I have my little scrap here that we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp a leaf and some sprigs on here. We're going to stamp in shaded spruce. So one more thing about the translucent florals. The reason I'm using them is I wanted to showcase it because it's a last chance item. So it'll soon be gone. You won't be able to get it anymore. And it's really a nice stamp set. So I wanted to show you some really, really pretty cards. So we're going to make this one, then I have 2 more I want to show you. But these are last chance, which means you can get them for a deal. You can get them a little bit cheaper than you normally would. But the secret is, I think, on this, is you want to buy the stamp set separately and the die set separately. Don't buy them as a bundle. And I'm not sure why they did that, but when you look at it, the bundle is more than if you were to buy this one separately and this one separately. I think you get the two of these separately for like 41 bucks. So that's really a nice discount from what they normally were. But again, it is a last chance item. So if you like it, go ahead and shop now. Also wanted to say something else about this stamp set. What I like about it is it's a distinctive stamp set. That means once you stamp the flower, that's it. You're done with it. You don't have to color it in or anything. You can stamp right on your card, or you can stamp and then cut them out with the dies. But it gives it a really nice little texture to it. And it's called translucent because, yeah, when you do stamp with it, it kind of looks like you can see through it. It's really a nice little feature, nice little stamp set. And of course, it has the great sentiments too. So again, we're going to make this card, but make sure you stick around to the end because I have a couple other cards that I want to show you that are really, really pretty. Okay, so I got a scrap here, and I am going to ink up my leaf stamp. Very pretty. And then I'm going to ink up the little floral sprig, and I'm going to stamp two of those. And then we have the dies to cut these out. But before I cut this out, I want to show you a little trick that I did. So I brought in my little blending pen, and then I brought in Gorgeous Grape. And this is just, you don't have to do this, but I think it looks really pretty. So if you see my card, the little tips of the sprigs are all in purple rather than green. So I just took my little blender pen and I picked up a little bit of ink. Make sure it's clean, no other colors on there because these are reusable. And then I just went over the tip just a little bit in the Gorgeous Grape. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these out with my dies. So another little tip is when you're using these dies, if you notice there's these two little holes down here at the bottom. Well, I'm going to look through those little holes. I'm going to line this all up, and I'm going to make sure that I can see green right through there, and that means I will get a good cut when I cut out the stem. It won't be crooked or cockeyed. So I'm going to do that in both of them. Just going to look through that little hole, make sure I see green. Of course, I'm going to line the top up too, and then I'm going to cut it out so we get a nice pretty flower sprig and a leaf. Okay, we got those pretty pieces cut out. Okay, I'm going to bring back in our little postage rectangle, and we're going to go ahead and stamp Happy Birthday on there. And I'm going to stamp that in Memento black ink. Now you can definitely go ahead and stamp your greeting first and then die cut it out. Either way works. This is a tight fit, so I decided to do it the opposite way. I decided to go ahead and cut out my rectangle and then stamp it. And I have to bring it closer to me so I can kind of look straight down to stamp it. And we'll see how I do. There you go. Fits perfectly. Okay, so we got all our pieces ready to go. And now we get to do the fun part. I'm sure you're waiting to see how we make these vellum flowers. They are absolutely gorgeous. So again, don't forget, I do have a project sheet for this card right here. Just sign up for my newsletter, and you can find the link for my newsletter in the description below this video. So we are going to take these funny looking dies, which are the pretty flowers that we're going to create, and we're going to cut them out of vellum. So I am going to cut a set of the large flowers, and then I'm going to cut out 3 sets of small flowers. So let me get all that cut out, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to color them in. Okay, so I have all the petals cut out, and I cut all of those out of a strip of vellum that is 8.5 by 2.5. So on your project sheet, I am going to say start with a sheet that's 8.5 by 2.5, and you should be able to cut out all the petals that you need. So I'm going to bring in a scrap and go ahead and put my vellum flowers down here, and I'm going to bring in a blender brush and Gorgeous Grape. Now you can do this in any color you want. Even though our card is Highland Heather, I wanted the flowers to be darker. So all I did was color them in with the sponge, and then I'll show you how we put them together. Now, do you want to be a little bit careful? So I'm kind of going away from me. Instead, you don't want to scrub it too hard and bend the vellum. The vellum's kind of delicate, but it's really not too delicate. But you can bend it or fold it if you're a little bit too rough. So while I'm doing this, I wanted to mention a couple other things. So if you see, I have a Stampin' Shout special. So like I said, you're going to get tonight's project sheet free just by signing up for my newsletter. And I have 2 more cards that I'm going to show you that I made out of the translucent florals. And if you shop with me this week, I will send you all 3 project sheets. So with a $35 order, I will include the other 2 project sheets. And they are very pretty cards. So it'd be nice if you want to recreate them. And if you spend $50, you'll be included in my monthly thank you mailing, where I'll include a handmade card and a sweet little embellishment sampler. Plus, remember, Stampin' Up has that new rewards program, so every order over $20, you earn 10%. So you're getting a lot of stuff there. Plus, if you shop for these products, these are the ones that are on sale, so that's a great deal. And to top it off, Stampin' Up is giving you free shipping just for 3 days, but today, tomorrow, and Friday, free shipping on orders of $75 or more. So those are all good deals. Had to make sure you know about them because I would hate for you to place an order on Saturday and miss the free shipping, because we all hate paying for that shipping. I know. I hate it too. But very happy when I get my products. So So there are our pretty little petals. You can make them as dark as you want or as light as you want. I started in the middle, so the middle is a little bit darker. So now what we're going to do is you're just going to put these together. And there's no rhyme or reason. You just kind of look at it. And I'm going to layer the 2 large pieces together. And it's a funny little flower, but it's really cute. You can curl them just a little bit. I curled the bigger ones. I didn't curl the little ones. And first time I curled them a little bit too much, and they were really a little bit too lively. So just going to curl them just a little bit. If you're going to mail it, they might flatten down a little bit in the mail, but you can add that little bit of shape to your flowers. And then we're just going to connect them with glue. Now, vellum, normally you have to be careful when you glue, but because we're going to have a flower center that we're going to add to this, you don't have to worry about it too much. But I'm going to bring in my little silicone mat just in case. And I'm just going to put a little dot of glue in the middle of each of these flowers and then layer them. Well, first my glue was being stingy, and then did you see that big old blob that came out? Well, it's okay. It's going to be on the bottom. So I just put a little bit of a little glue there right in the center, and then just kind of laid these down. And we're going to let that set for a second. And then I'm going to put 2 smaller ones together, and then I'm going to put them in the middle of that big one. So our big flower has another layer of the little petals in the middle of it. You only need a teeny tiny amount of glue to hold these together right in the center. Okay, so my first flower that I put too much glue on didn't turn out so pretty, so I'm going to go ahead and make another flower. So it's good you saw me make that little mistake. That way you won't do the same thing. So you can't help it though. If a little bit of glue, too much glue pops out, it's going to happen. So just kind of test your glue before you start. No big deal. And I'm going to test my glue right here. Make sure it comes out nice. Yep, little teeny tiny bit of glue. Just like that. That's all you need. A little bit. And then you're just going to let it set. Whoop! Just sticky fingers. Just let it set till it dries. And now I'm going to bring in some of these other pieces. So this one's dry, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in the middle of our big flower. So again, just a little dab of glue. And we'll let that one set for a second. And then on these 2 little flowers, I'm going to put the center. I'm going to put one of these centers on the little flower, one of these on the big flower, and I'm going to make this one on a little flower, so it's going to look like it's a little bit droopy, but it'll be pretty. Okay, so we made our little flowers, and big secret is you want to let them dry. So we're going to put those off to the side, and then we're going to continue putting the rest of our card together. So I'm just going to push these off to the side. Okay, so while those are drying, we're going to bring in our white piece, and we're going to start to put our card together. So we have our leaf that we stamped, our sprigs that we stamped, and our leaves. So the way I built mine was I just started down here in the bottom corner with my leaf, and I glued that down. So this is the larger of the leaves. So I did that, and then I went ahead and I attached my leaf sprig right there. So I just glued that down. Before I pushed it all the way down, I'm going to kind of put my little sprig up there in the corner, just like that. And before I put these other ones down, we're going to lay our flowers down. And I'm still going to let that dry just a little bit more. So I'm going to take our happy birthday sentiment and glue it onto our pretty Highland Heather piece. So we're just going to center that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this to our layered piece. And now we're going to bring in our dimensionals, and we're going to pop up our flowers and pop up our happy birthday sentiment. Okay, we're going to put our big flower down first. And this one with the little droopy center, I'm going to kind of put down here. And then this one's going to go up here. And then this sprig is going to go down here. So just going to fit it in there. And we're going to glue that. And all your cards are going to be just a little bit different, just depending on where you lay everything, all your little pieces. And then we have a couple of leaves that we're going to put down. And let's put this on our card base, and then we'll do something on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to bring in our Memento black ink, and then I have a little piece of designer series paper I'm going to lay right there with. First I'm going to stamp though, and I'm going to stamp wishing you all the happiness in the world. Great little sentiment in this stamp set. Okay, we'll glue our designer series paper on, and then we'll glue this to the inside of our card. So if you're enjoying the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And if you're new, subscribe and click that notification bell. That way you'll get a little notification on your phone whenever I'm going live or whenever I am making my video, which is Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And I have all the supplies listed down below. And I have a couple more cards to show you before you go anywhere. Okay, so what do you think? I love these vellum flowers. I definitely think I have to make more cards with vellum. But this is a beautiful spring and summer card, don't you think? It's gorgeous. Very pretty in person, too. And I know who this is going to. I think I already told you that. But let's bring in a couple more cards. So here's another one. Same colors, Coastal Cabana, Highland Heather. And on this one, I stamped the background. And then I went ahead and stamped the main focal point and then popped it up. And again, we have that pretty designer series paper. And then we did the sentiment with the white embossing powder on black. Really makes the card pop. And again, wishing you all the happiness in the world. Pretty little wedding card or a shower card. And I just love this one. So, got the two little leaves with the Coastal Cabana background. This one is You're the Best with a little bow. This one is embellished with the distressed embossing folder, and that is another last chance product. So you could go ahead and add the stamp set and the embossing folder to your order, and make sure you get that free shipping the next couple of days. So that embossing folder is very versatile. This one I made vertically, and I left it blank inside because I think it's going to make a very pretty thank you card, or just a regular note card. Let someone know you're thinking of them. So those are my 3 cards that I am sharing with you this week, all made with the translucent florals. And I will send out the project sheet for this card right after this video. Just subscribe to my newsletter if you want to get my free project sheet for the Wednesday night video. And then if you shop with me by Sunday night, I will share the other 2 project sheets with you. These are really pretty cards, and I hope you do like them. And then again, spend $50, and then you're included in my monthly thank you mailing, where I will mail you a handmade card. And that's a card that you can resend again, because I don't sign it inside. I put a little note inside there, but it's not stamped inside, so you can use that card again. And then I also send out a sweet little embellishment sampler. And Stampin' Up! Has that great new rewards program where anything over $20, you earn 10%. And again, free shipping next 3 days only. So go ahead and let me know what you think about tonight's cards. And make sure you visit my blog where you'll see great big pictures of tonight's projects. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed tonight's cards. Go ahead and click like, let me know what you think, and I will see you next week. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.